So we are now in the second underground city, Derinkuyu. The reasons to make this is similar, the same like yesterday. Just to summarize, to protect the vulnerable people during the siege. So they couldn't fight, that's why they stayed here during the siege only. And after the siege, this place was used as a food storage because of its constant temperature inside, which is about 60 Fahrenheit all year round. Doesn't matter how cold or hot it is outside. And thirdly, when it is too hot or too cold again, they use this as a shelter for a couple of days until the weather gets normal outside. And also, the small underground cities, not the big ones like this, but the small ones were used by early Christians to hide from the pagans up to 4th century until it was accepted as official religion. But not this one was used to hide, I think, because it's a huge one and everybody knew about this. So how can you hide in a place which is known by everybody? But we have many small ones away from the city centers, so probably they use those as well. And we are now at the top floor, which was the kitchen. And here is the fireplace, tandur we call it in Turkish. They made fire, and it was shared by everybody, of course. Population was more or less 6,000 here. Again, in some other books you can see numbers about 30, 40,000. Again, exaggerated, about 6,000 people were here. So the fireplace, one chimney is here, another chimney is right there, but the top of them are closed because it's not used anymore. And again, this underground is connected to the other ones.
Really?
In case of an attack, again, they could get stuck inside, or they could throw fire inside. Smoke will finish the oxygen. That's the reason. They also made connecting tunnels here, from here to local house outside, or to near underground cities, like 7-kilometer long tunnel they found in recent underground they found, but it's not a museum yet. It's around Nevşehir city. There's a castle there. When they were doing some excavations there, they found that underground city. This is the deepest one in Cappadocia. It's got 8 floors and it's more or less 250 feet deep in the ground. Kitchens should be multiple because 6,000 people is huge. This small fireplace can't produce enough food for everybody. But once again, what we are seeing today is only about 15 or 20% of the total. The other 80% was filled with dirt, again because they were not used for a long time. They only used this part as a food storage, but the connecting tunnels were not used as it's difficult to walk in them, so long and low, that's why they were not used. So this is the food storage and kitchen part. Now we will continue to the lower places.
Let a video. I'm going to walk down the tunnel with it.
Leave the video on?
Yeah, just for a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll catch up to you.
Just watch your head.
You have to stay relatively close to me, honey.
And here we are seeing a wall, but there was no wall here before. Actually, there is no wall here. It's an illusion. So you're just seeing a wall. Look, this is the volcanic tufa, let's say, and that's a stone and concrete wall. They made this to support the ceiling, and behind this was like a big pool. They had grapes, again smashed the grapes barefoot. I hope their foot was clean enough, and they just through the channel pour down here. The same process. They get the wine, the grape juice from here, fermented, and they made wine. As we are at the top floor, this is the oldest, the first part they made. As we go deeper, it gets younger. So Hittites were here, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth floor. The sixth, seventh, and eighth floor was made later on by the Romans and Byzantines up to Ottoman era. It continued. As we're at the top floor, this dates back to nearly 2000 BC, and this shows us that wine is made in Cappadocia nearly for 4,000 years.
Wow.
So, it's going to be lower now. Please watch your head.
You still want to go?
Here we go. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Don't hit your head. Tunnel rats.
Again, it's the food storage area, and as it's displayed right there, they put the potteries in onto the holes small holes on the floor, so the pots wouldn't fall over. But the holes were deeper in the past. Again, it's filled with dirt. Originally there was no iron grates, there was wood and animal furs on the top of these. And once again, some of these were used as traps too, to trap the invaders, we can say. Mainly this underground is very cool, but some parts were also warm, because the reason is you have the air ventilation shaft, and the first rooms around it is generally cooler because they have the air directly from outside, but some rooms are a bit away from the ventilation shaft, so warmer. Depending on the temperature of the room, they store different things. Sun-dried meat they stored if the room is cool. Grains or cereals were stored if it's warmer room. But these are all cold rooms.
So they were just help to keep like lanterns, candles to light these underground meetings.
All right, we're gonna stop this.
Yeah, very incredible.
Are you gonna?